Welcome to Cap the Cage. We are back for our second episode here with Pat Gerhart, YBB, also known as YBB Sports Data on Twitter as well. Harry Mack, BB Harry Mack on Twitter. Myself, Ronald Kabang at UCapper Sports on Twitter. Man, with the first episode didn't go as planned. I think we didn't get our best bets in there, but we have a better card here this weekend in the Bellator side that I feel like you guys feel really confident in. So I'm glad that we have both Bellator and the Fight Night because the Fight Night card is Pat has mentioned this the Asian card. We're gonna have the main event Derek Lewis versus Spivak at like 4 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, which is crazy. But man, how are you guys feeling about these two cards here? Bellator 290 Fight Night. Obviously, everyone's like looking forward to the Islam and the Volk fight, right? But we have this weekend's card here. How are you guys feeling? Pat, let's start with you.
Um, I feel that the Bellator card is superior to the UFC card this weekend. I think it'll be fun for night owls who are going to be watching Bellator because as soon as Bellator ends, or even during the main card, you'll still get the at least the early prelim opener of Tyra on the UFC card. So that's fun. But yeah, I'm more interested in the Bellator side of things as far as odds are concerned. I think that the UFC card is offering us some low level fights. I think they'll be fun, but I don't think it's worth staying up at like 1 in the morning for to watch. There's like a whole bunch of no names on it. So not the most exciting card, but I do think there will be some exciting fights.
Yeah, I mean, Harry, you mentioned Taturo Taira. Man, those odds at minus
Crazy, dude.
1100 is crazy. But
I'm like, you can
it does
you
seem
can
like he might
squeeze
be the
some
top
value.
prospect, right?
I'm really high on Tyra personally. I think at least at flyweight, probably my favorite prospect right now. And I know you got guys like Makayev and you got. I feel like flyweight pretty active right now as far as prospects and guys on the come up. And you got Manel Kape kind of seems to be asserting himself, making a push right now. You got a lot of stuff going on there, but yeah, man, I Tyra is the real fucking deal. Obviously, I would never advise anybody to bet an MMA fight at minus 1100 or 1200 straight up. That's insanity.
Yeah,
But I do think that there's still you can squeeze some value out of it if you really try. I Tyra
on the
inside
top
the
side, right?
distance. I think
Yeah.
inside the distance minus 175 is a good play. I think that's a great parlay piece if you want to throw that in with maybe Duhu or Sergey Spivak or something like that. There's definitely still ways that you can bet that fight and squeeze some value out of it at least.
Yeah, and I know you like this Bellator card as well, right?
I'm in the same boat as Pat, man. I think that the Bellator card is superior, at least on paper, to the UFC's this weekend. Like I said, I'm sure the UFC fights will still be fun. I'm sure they'll deliver, but yeah, it's a lot of guys who quite just simply put are not UFC level. If you watch Road to UFC, if you go back and look at the competition that a lot of those guys fought on the way up over there in Asia and in China and a lot of that shit, it's a lot of really lopsided matchmaking, and
Yeah.
a lot of those guys just haven't really fought premier competition before. So it's hard, it's very difficult to get a really good gauge of where they're at, and it's very difficult for me to assume that those guys are just magically going to be UFC level, right? So
Yeah.
obviously, it's also like it throws a weird wrench into things that this card was originally supposed to be South Korea. It was supposed to be TKZ headlining. No, like that all made a lot more sense, I feel like. Whereas now it's just kind of like, yeah, this is just like a card that we're putting on, so we hit that 40 cards a year for ESPN and make our $400 million. We're just churning out
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah. Well, I mean, with that said, man, Bellator. Let's get into the one of the first fights that we want to talk about here. Omasi and Brendan Ward. We have Omasi at minus 205, Brendan Ward at plus 170. I'm gonna be able to share my screen here. We're just gonna show some of the breakdown here. As you guys talk about it, I'll go through this on the screen so just to show the viewers here. But Pat, man, what do you think about this one here, Omasi and Ward? Omasi obviously the favorite. You see their records here, 17 and 10. A lot of them by KO, 11 of them by KO. 16 and 6 for Ward. What are your thoughts on this fight here?
I don't have an opinion really on this spot. I think if you're forcing me to bet, I would probably entertain the dog um in this spot, but I'm not superbly confident either way. I think that the number that you're getting is pretty much the value, or it's pretty much sharp. So yeah, I'm not really interested in this spot. I think Harry might have more to say on this one than I do.
I do.
Yeah,
I
Harry, I'm
do.
looking at the the previous fights for Ward, a lot of them inside the distance. Is that the way that you're gonna look in this one?
So it's two guys who are the hammer or the nail, right? I think Sabah Hamadi has also only been to a decision twice in his entire career. So he either finishes or he gets finished, right? And Brennan Ward had the same. Brennan Ward, he's either gonna beat the fucking shit out of you and finish you, or he'll probably get finished. That's the way he fights. And I just want to say personally, I think Brennan Ward has one of the best stories in mixed martial arts. I'm not familiar either you two guys are, but if you go back, he had a lot of canceled fights over the years. He had a lot of problems with drugs, with addiction, with shit like that. Was able to kind of get his life back together, get back, on the Bellator stage. I was at his fight last February. A Connecticut guy. It was up Ohiga, hometown crowd going fucking nuts for him. Like, it's a good story, makes you feel good. And yeah, Sabah Hamadi also, and just an action fighter, former UFC guy, always brings the heat. I think Brennan Ward's play here personally at plus 170. I think that's good enough value that I feel good just throwing a dart at that. Like I said, Hamasi isn't incredible by any means. He's an action fighter. He's really fun. He's really entertaining, but not the most skilled guy on earth by any stretch of the imagination. Hamasi will be a little bit bigger, but I think Ward will probably carry a little bit more power into this one. It should be a fun fight, and I'll be shocked if it goes to the judges' scorecards. But the more that I think about it, is this a over 1.5 plus 150? I can get a reverse brain over 1.5. That feels tempting.
Over 1.5, Harry? You like over?
I'm just thinking about it, and it's like, can I get 7.5 minutes out of these guys? Do we know that they're going to come to throw down? But can I just get 7.5 minutes out of these guys?
You're right. This is like this is an under. It looks too easy to play the under, in my opinion, too. But
that's
again, I know, and like
so
the only thing, the thing that would stop me is Brennan Ward. Yeah, he's coming back, but he's only fought twice since 2017, his little layoff that he had. But I wonder. That's the only reason why I can't really back him in this spot. I just don't know how he's going to perform in his third fight back. He's kind of exceeded expectations in his last couple of fights. It's hard for me to back either fighter. I think this is going to be a good fight to watch. But yeah, I have like zero opinion on either side. I want Brennan Ward to win, though. I'm rooting for Brennan.
Yeah, he's a hard guy not to root for. It's a awesome story. He's if you listen to I'll send you guys the video. I took a really good video of his like press conference at his first fight back after the layoff. Like, he was crying, like just very authentic, very genuine. Something that you don't necessarily see a ton of in the sport today. But also, whoever you're gonna take, if you're taking a side, then by TKO or KO. Why not?
I like
probably
that.
The move. Plus, you can get plus 300 or plus 340. You can get on board by TKO. Hamas, you get plus 115, plus 110. I've seen it a couple different sports books. So yeah, fuck it.
Hamasi has some. Hamasi's gonna have some training partners as well on this card. Isn't he at American Top Team?
Yeah,
he's right. That's the only thing that I don't want to. Like, I don't know, those AT&T guys, they're scary to like fade, but I don't know, man. I don't know. I want nothing to do with this fight. I'm just gonna watch it, but I want you to win. I want Brennan to win. But
and just a reminder too to the viewers that we're gonna be able to showcase on FightOdds.io some of the bets that we're gonna be placing. So at the end, we're gonna talk about some of these fights here as we go through the card. But at the end of the show, we're actually gonna place them onto the bankroll or the bet tracker on FightOdds.io, so we can track it as we go through the year on the show here. So at the end, Pat and Harry and myself will kind of talk it out real quick and see where we want to place these bets. So I'm gonna write down the notes. We're gonna lean towards Ward here, plus 165, and then maybe we can look at some props if we feel like there's values otherwise. But other than that, I think let's move on to the next fight here, right? We got Eblen and Tokov. There we go. We got a couple of guys. I feel like when I see these ages right here, 31, 32, this is like the prime for a lot of fighters, right?
For sure.
I feel like this is one that man, I feel like these are one of the fights that you want to watch. I don't know if I would be able to bet on this one. This guy has way more experience, right? Tokov has a lot more experience in the cage. Same age though. Who's more hungry though? You know what I mean? Like this guy's 12-0. For me, coming from an outside perspective, this one's really tough to look at or to bet. But maybe I'm pretty sure you guys have a better angle on this one. Harry, let's start with you here.
Yeah, so like you said, you did a great job setting it up there. But this is honestly, in my opinion, this is probably the best fight on paper this weekend, like in any promotion. You know, you have Johnny Eblen, 12-0, undefeated ATT guy. You know, obviously people have their qualms about him. He's kind of a lame ray guy, kind of tends to rely on grappling, top control a little bit too much, maybe not on damage as he should. But you know what? Then he came out in his last fight and he beat the shit out of Gegard Mousasi. Outstruck him, out wrestled him, beat him in every phase of the fight. So yeah, I definitely understand the price on Eblen as far as him being a pretty significant favorite. But like you said, man, Tokov, the more experienced guy, fought over in Russia, fought a bunch of fucking killers for years. Also ever so slightly older, but you know, still in his prime, 28 to 32 range. But you know, this is kind of his probably. I mean, I don't know. Very possibly, this is going to be the last chance he gets at a belt in a major promotion, right? You never know. You can never bank on that opportunity coming around again. So, I think the value side is Tokov for sure. I definitely think that's the value side, but I'm not 100% sure I'm going to play a side in this fight yet. This might be one of those, like Pat said for the last one, I try to sit back and try to have some fun and enjoy.
Yeah. Well, what are your thoughts, Pat?
I like Tokov, man. Like, you know how Harry like Brennan Ward the last one. I like Tokov in this spot. Tokov, yeah, he comes from the Russian scene. This guy, his only losses are at M1 Global, and actually one of the fighters, Harry, you might be familiar with, Magomed Karimov, who is actually in the PFL.
Yeah, PFL welterweight champion.
Hey, he's good, man, and he was winning that
real
fight
fucking
against.
Good.
He was winning that fight against Ray Cooper till he got obliterated. But
and he beat Cooper the year before that.
Yeah, so that's not a bad loss to have in your record.
No,
I believe,
as probably top 15, top 20 worldwide at 170.
Yeah, no, he's solid. But yeah, Johnny Eblen, another AT&T guy. He, like I said, you're gonna have a whole bunch of AT&T guys on this card. I believe at least 4. This is Tokov. I mean, I think he can outwork Johnny Eblen. Eblen is one of the guys who I feel like doesn't do enough damage in top control, and Tokov is very he gets back to his feet. I am a little bit worried about him giving his neck up, but you know, he can fight. He has cardio. He does move with pressure. He is a forward fighter. He does throw in combinations as well, which you like to see. I just think Eblen's too like low vol. I think, no, don't get me wrong. I've been doubting him a lot, and I've been wrong a lot. But I just think that the odds are just kind of off. You're giving me plus 220 on a credentialed fighter. You know, I don't know, man. I like Tokov on the odds.
That's what I was looking at his previous fights here, and you can see the minus 800 on the TKO, minus 960.
Yes.
Like how is it that it's flipped so much? Like
it's wild, and I don't know what it is about Bellator, but it's like
it's the Scott Coker way of building.
It's wild, yeah. But you usually get these Bellator cards where there's a whole bunch of the juice is worth the squeeze, but I don't think that's the case on this fight card. Yeah, I'm gonna go with Tokov. I just think that he's just gonna be. I think he's live at the number. I'm not gonna be shocked if he loses, but I just think that he has a lot more cardio and a lot more ways to win. I think Johnny Eblen, for as much as I like him, I think he's just a little too one-dimensional in certain areas of the fight game. So I think Tokov can mix it in well. I'm siding with him.
All right. Well, I'll put Tokov down here for us. Let's move on to the next one. That's 2 dogs. Do we make it 3 dogs here with Emelianenko? This is the second fight between these 2 guys here. Obviously, we're seeing the ages a little bit different than what we last saw in the previous fight. 39 and 46 here. Yeah, we just saw Glover. We talked about him in the last show about how old he is. This guy's even older. This might be one of his last fights, probably his last fight. Well, what are your thoughts on this one, guys? Can he get it done? I mean, if you look at this record, mad experience, right? Not losing it.
That's the heavyweight, baby.
That's what I'm saying.
There's no fucking rules. Anybody who doesn't think so can eat shit. But 46 years old is fucking crazy. Dude.
That's
I
crazy.
don't understand why Scott Coker thought this was the fight to make. I think that this is allegedly Fedor's retirement fight, which I feel like they also said last fight against Tim Johnson in Russia, and then they just changed.
And that was
to,
last year,
no.
almost 12 months
right,
ago.
but then they changed that to they were like, no, that was actually his last fight in Russia. This one is going to be his last actual fight. It's like, okay. But you know what? Like,
Hey,
dude, I would have so much rather seen him and JS, like Junior Dos Santos, him and Josh Barnett, the old War Master. Like, there were more competitive, fun fights out there for him against older legends who are, like. And Bader's older too. Bader's 39 years old. It's not like he's fucking spring chicken by any means. And Fedor duked Tim Johnson in his last fight. So, I don't know. I can't bet against Fedor because he's Fedor, and also because it's Ryan Bader is like a massive favorite. But at the price, I think it's worth sprinting Fedor. It's heavyweight. You know that these guys are always going to have the power to put each other away. Fucking, I don't know, man. I just like at that price, I think Fedor's worth a sprinkle. I really don't want to see Fedor go out sad, which it feels like we're probably going to.
Yeah, I'm right there. I'm right there with Harry. I think as bad as I wanted to bet on Emily or Fedor at the odds, I can't do it. He's too old, and I feel like we're getting an adjusted price because of his last knockout win over Johnson. So I don't know, man. And we already saw how this fight played out the last time. I'm not going to say it's going to be the same way, but
a little check.
Fedor got knocked out last time, and he got knocked out early and quick. And yeah, I mean, I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't think it'll go the distance.
That was like a couple years ago, man. That going from like when you hit 40.
But
40, every year is like exponentially worse.
Right. The difference between 43 and 46 is like
right.
Compare to the difference. Like the difference between 33 and 36 literally doesn't compare the difference between 43 and 46. Crazy.
Yeah, I'm not going to be betting this fight, but I am excited for the main event. I will be rooting for Fedor. But
I would too. I always like to root for the underdogs, especially when it has
especially
to
legends.
I was going to say legend the game. Yeah.
Legend. Yeah.
I mean, dude, I will always be of the opinion that Fedor will forever be the biggest UFC what if. You know what I mean? Like that, the fact that we never got Brock Fedor is just so unfortunate.
Yeah.
And obviously it's too late now. It's not going to happen. But I don't know. What are you going to do? I hope Fedor can go out on top. He's a fucking legend of the game, but we shall see.
So it sounds like we're not going to be betting this one, but we do. Obviously, I think we all want to root for Fedor here. Let's go into the UFC card. We got Tyra. Let's go start with that one. That one's the first fight probably of the night, right? I think that should be the first fight. So we got Tyra and then Aguilar here. I know you guys are really high on Tyra here. We have the odds at minus 1100. You were talking earlier, Harry, about possibly using it as a parlay piece with Tyra winning by submission, right? I feel like I'm looking back at his previous fights. I mean, that's four in a row, 4 submissions in a row.
Dude,
possibly can do it again.
The kid is legit, man. I don't know. I'm really high on this hit. I was saying right before we got on, I think if I had to pick one, if I had to.
I think we lost him, right?
We lost him.
It's all good, Pat.
Yeah,
Pat, I know you know a little bit about Tyra as well, right?
Yeah, I mean, he's really good at wrestling, which isn't the case usually on that Asian scene. He's, pretty solid. His striking can use a little bit of work, but he's getting a layup in this spot. His opponent, Aguilar, is coming in with the shortest reach in UFC history, actually. So he's going to look really stocky, really short. They're building Tyra up. The odds are set this way for a reason. I'm not going to be betting it. I don't see any value. I know Harry really likes Tatsuro to get it done via submission or inside the distance. But yeah, Tatsuro Tyra, he's a prospect to watch. I do think he has a lot of upside. And and he's young. That's the other thing. He's, I believe, only 23 years old. So he has all the upside in the world. But I'm just not a fan of the odds. This is the same case where we were discussing the prospect on last card where we had Jailton Almeida. Those
Yeah.
odds are just wild, man. They're so wild. I don't know how you can, claim value in certain spots, and this is one of those spots. So
Yeah, I mean,
I'm
like
gonna pass on it.
if you look at it though, what Harry was saying with the submission, I feel like where did it go? The props. If we go to submission or inside the distance at minus 260 or submission here at minus 165. I feel
Okay,
like
yeah.
I feel like that's not that bad. The especially the submission one because he's done it 4 straight times. If we go on the other side, if we look at Aguilar, 8-1. He's 26 years old. He also has a few submissions here. What about just inside the distance in general?
Yeah, that's tough. I don't know. I mean, Harry sees something that I don't at this spot, so I I mean, I don't know, man. I think Tyro wins, but you're asking me to pay $1,100 to win 100. Like,
Hmm.
even for the ITD, it's just a little bit risky. Yeah, and you know what? His last fight, or not even his last fight. I can't remember if he fought Candelario last or not, but there was some concerning, exchanges in that spot. So
Mhm.
yeah, he fought Candelario and then he fought Vergara. Vergara was kind of an easier one, but yeah, Candelario goes all the way to decision. So I
Man, that's
mean,
tough.
that was a
Yeah,
questionable fight for me too. I'm not the highest on Candelario, so
yeah. Well, I know Harry was before he got cut out. He was very high on Tyra, so I believe he was going to talk about the submission there. Um, at minus 165. I'll add that to our list here, and we'll talk about it a little bit later. Plus 65. Let's go on to this other one here. I know you like this one. Ji Kim versus Mandy Bohm. Oh, we got Harry back. All right, Harry. We were just. What was that?
I'm the most punished man alive. I'm being pressed.
All
You don't want me
right.
to give you these
Let's
words.
let's let's get your last take here on Tyra here. Before you broke up.
tell us what the
Yes.
value is, Harry.
Yeah.
I was saying before I was so rudely interrupted by my shitty internet that I think the play for me here is going to be Tyra inside the distance minus 175. I don't see Aguilar being able to bring this one the distance, and as we noticed, he's been best. I think he ripped off 4 straight just so. I don't know, man. And Tyra's got 3 KOs too. So I think he's going to be better everywhere than him. I don't want to get too in mud picking a specific finish. I think Tyra is able to get him out of there before we hit the judge scorecards. I think minus 175 is an excellent parlay piece with a Serg Spivak or a Du Choi or, something that'll do plus 130, plus 140 on 2 fights. I think that's a good play.
Gotcha. Okay, we'll put that in there. Inside the distance minus 175. I know you talked about the Tyra submission too, minus 165 as well. Do you feel like he has a better I guess better odds to submit than KO?
I do think he does, but like for 10 points to deuce, give me the coverage on the KO too. You know what I mean? For if it's a significant difference, if it's plus 150, if we're talking 100 points of juice, like yeah, sure, then let's talk. But for 10 points of juice, I want to have to worry about him just coming out and fucking catching him with something crazy, knocking him out cold. You know what I mean? Like, if it's that close, I will always take inside the distance. Always.
Gotcha. All right, let's move on to Ji Kim and Mandy Bohm here. Pat,
This is a very
get
funny
you
fight.
started on this one.
This is an awful fight, first of all. But here's what I want to say, though. I think that you can squeeze some value out of it. This was one of my hot takes that I had earlier, all right? So Mandy Bohm, let's talk about it. Mandy Bohm. This is a girl who sports a 0% takedown defense. Okay, does Ji Kim wrestle? Nah, but she has switched camps. She is getting new looks. This is a girl who's on a 4-fight skid in the UFC. However, Alexa Grasso is about to fight for the belt. Priscilla Cachoeira, she arguably won that fight. Jocelyn Edwards, that was another really close fight, pretty sloppy. Molly McCann, back and forth action, goes the distance, performance of the night. She's an exciting fighter, regardless of what you say. She's not Mandy Bohm. Mandy Bohm is a low volume, low output striker who has wins over women who have one professional fight. literally one professional fight till she got to the UFC, of course. But yeah, she's not interesting. She's not a good fighter. She is a bum. And I think that there's value on Ji-Yeon Kim, but when you look at it, and look at the records, you think Ji-Yeon Kim should not be that big of a favorite. I agree because she's a low IQ fighter. But where I see value is Ji-Yeon Kim, ground and pound TKO finish. It was plus 450 earlier in the week. I discussed this on Ronald's show earlier. It's been bet down. But I think for a fighter who's on a 4-fight losing streak, who needs a win to stay in the promotion, who's Asian, on an Asian card, girl, you are set up for success. If you don't get this girl out of there, you should be cut. You will be getting your walking papers. So for all those reasons, I'm taking Ji-Yeon Kim. I like her inside the distance. I think that there's more value on the inside the distance line than there is on the money line. So yeah, Ji-Yeon Kim.
I see plus 300 here.
I like that.
Would you take the inside the distance over the TKO?
Let's see. At those current odds, I mean, I could see a submission too. Bum does not have good takedown defense. I just think that Kim, with her, she's very if she gets into full mount, she's going to unleash hands and not look to grapple. So I would honestly side with the TKO side, but
that makes sense. Yeah, let's stick with the ITD there. So I have her at plus 300 there. All right, Harry, any additions to this one?
I think I'm in a similar boat, honestly. What I'm thinking I'm going to do is, instead of, if I'm going to play a side here, it's absolutely going to be Kim inside the distance. I do think that that's probably the smart player. Pat said they're very clearly setting her up for success, but they want to build her up over in Korea, over there in Asia. Want her to be marketable. They want all of that shit. I think a part of this also, like saying Alexa Grasso fought Mandy Baum, is now going to fucking fight for a title. A lot of this just demonstrates how fucking shallow women's MMA is above once you go over 115. It's just a mess. 125, 135, 135. All those divisions are a fucking mess. But yeah, I like that Ji-Yeon Kim inside the distance at plus 300. My only other thought would be to take either under 2.5. I got under 2.5. I'm seeing it at plus 320 at a couple places right now. And just the way that I see it is, this is not really a UFC level fight. This is not that high level of a fight. And either one of these fighters easily made their way into being finished. Just diving directly into a guillotine, something fucking stupid like that. Walking directly into a punch, directly on the chin. I could see these two somehow find a way to just cartoonishly meander to a finish. So maybe there's some value on the under there.
That does make sense, because if you look at this, Pat and Harry, this is plus 300 too on the under 2.5, where we're taking someone to win inside this. But I mean, it's kind of interesting, right?
Plus, gives us some coverage if Mandy lends the fucking perfect counter, catches her right on the button somehow. Likely no, but crazier things have happened.
Yeah. I'm gonna write that down too as well, because it's pretty much the same odds. You do only have 2.5 minutes in that third.
Right. So 2.5 minutes, you gotta make it 12.5 minutes basically of a fight.
Yeah.
You gotta make it a halfway point of the third round. So at that point, if you're
like that.
Yeah, if you want somebody to finish anyway and you're picking a side at the same price, I don't know, why not cover your bases?
Cover the bases, yeah.
Yeah.
Makes a lot of sense. I like that's good logic there.
Yeah. I think that would be, if I was gonna, I don't know if I'm gonna play this yet, I'm still on the fence, but if I was going to, I think that'd be my play, just the under.
Gotcha. All right. That's a good one. I wrote that one down and said, well, I wrote both of them down, but we'll decide at the end there. So we got the next one here, Duho Choi and Kyle Nelson. There you go. This is probably one of the better odds that we've seen as far as how even the fight is from the books perspective. From the cards, from the fights that we've been talking about lately. Same age, a little bit of a height advantage here on the Nelson side. Striker versus striker wrestler. Record's pretty similar as well, guys. What do you think on this one? I think you guys were looking at Duho, right? Right, Harry?
I think so. Part of that is I'll always love Duho Choi. He's I'll always love him. The fight with Cobb was fucking awesome. He put on some absolute bangers over the years. He's an action fighter. He wants to come forward and stand in the pocket with you and just throw fuck hands. It's a very fan-friendly, fun style. Obviously it sucks that we lost 3-4 years of his prime, whatever it's been, between injuries and mandatory military service over there in South Korea. He's had some tough fights. He's had a lot of tough fights, but I don't know, man. Kyle Nelson has never really impressed me. You look at his record, that's tough competition, other than Jeremy Stephens, which isn't really tough competition. But, losses to Charles Jourdain, losses to Billy Q, like, there's not I'm sorry, this is Dooku. But yeah, like Nelson lost to Billy Q. He lost to some decent fighters. Dooku also lost to some decent fighters, but
yeah.
Fuck, man. It's like my heart says Dooku. Kyle Nelson's 1-3 in the UFC. Probably needs a win here to stay with the promotion. It's just hard. It's hard.
That long layoff here is tough too, right? I mean,
right. It's been 3 years. 3 years since we saw him fight.
Yeah.
So it's hard. It's hard for me to back a guy coming off of a 3-year layoff as a favorite. You know what I mean? But it's one of those things where it's like, gun to my head, I think Dooku wins the fight. Yeah, I do. But
yeah. I mean, from a
right, but does that mean I'm
perspective
throwing
too.
money at it? I don't know.
Yeah. From a gambling or like a sports bettor's perspective, you see something that looks funky. Sometimes that's the way to go. I mean, like you said, right? He's been off. He hasn't fought since 2019, but he's a favorite in the spot. That's like that fishy line. Like, what is it telling me right now? You know what I mean? Well, what do you think, Pat?
I think this is going to be a banger of a fight. I think it's going to be fan friendly. I do not want to back Doo Ho Choi just because of the layoff, really. And, he has been finished, I believe, in his last 3 fights. But win or lose, this guy's exciting to watch. So, you know who he reminds me a lot of is Harry. I don't know if you know this guy or not, but he trained, he's a New York guy. God, he fought Ludovic Klein and won as an underdog via wrestling.
Oh, fuck.
Damn it.
Was it Kelleher?
You know who I'm talking about? No, not Kelleher. Damn it, this is gonna bother the shit out of me. Okay,
I do know what
anyways,
you're talking about. Fuck.
But it was in the UFC earlier this year, and we saw a double knockout. Do you remember that?
Double
They
knockdown.
both
Yeah, that
got
was
dropped.
Trezano and
Yes,
Yeah.
Trezano. There you go.
yes.
He reminds me a lot of the other guy that he fought. The name is slipping my mind, but that's exactly what Doo Ho Choi brings. Now, Kyle Nelson, this is another guy who also strikes pretty well, but he only has about 3 minutes of gas in every single fight. So if you're going to bet him, I would say bet him probably in round 1. But yeah, this is going to be a fun fight. I'm excited. I think this might be the most exciting fight on the card, honestly. Name-wise, I do think that there's some that will be pretty entertaining, but nobody's gonna know who they are. So
This one here, I'm looking at Kyle Nelson's history here. Other than this last fight here that went to decision, a lot of them went inside the distance.
yeah,
It's true.
he's a kill or be killed kind of a fighter.
Hammer the nail, baby.
Those are the fighters you want to watch, though. Those are those fights
Always.
that like, always action. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
that's interesting. Will we want to look at that inside the distance? Damn, look at all those
I'm
KOs.
curious what the price is.
Yeah, let's look at it.
To be honest, if we're looking at inside the distance, I feel like Kyle Nelson's numbers are gonna be like way more attractive than Doo Ho Choi.
Yeah, Nelson inside the distance plus 300. Some between
I don't-
275 and 300.
I don't think Kyle Nelson's bad. He put up a really good fight against Jai Herbert too. I mean, okay, not really good. Not really good. Let me rephrase that. But he was a sizable underdog in that spot, and he did make a good account of himself in round 1. So
That's fair. I'm
I
just
don't
like
know.
he's one of those guys that I've just never really been impressed with. You know what I mean? I've never
He-
seen any specific thing that he does exceptionally well.
he's hit and miss. I just don't want to bet back somebody who's been out of the game for 3 years.
No, 100%. If this fight is happening and Dooku fought 4 months ago and is like win or loss, you know what I mean? Like, and he looked all right, then I have no problem backing him at this price. But yeah, it's hard. It's hard to fucking back a guy who's coming off of a 3-year layoff as a decent size favorite. You know, and I'm not gonna hold that against anybody for not wanting to hop on that.
Yeah, that's a good point. Well, so it sounds like maybe we look at inside the distance. I don't know. I was looking at it. I was looking at the odds here. just inside the distance in general, it's pretty juiced. It is.
Yeah,
pretty
I'm not
juiced.
interested.
Damn,
Yeah,
look, just
See, those are numbers where I would
It's
be more
pretty juiced.
interested in fight goes the distance.
Right,
You know what I
that's
mean?
what we're
Like,
talking reverse brain over. Sorry.
it's all the number. Fighting is like, you have to look at the number and weigh on the value side of the things.
Right.
If you're asking where the value's at there, I'm gonna say shit. Fight goes the distance. Kyle Nelson puts on his fucking his gi and starts wrestling. I don't know.
Yeah, bro. If Nelson decides to just fucking take it down and try and lay and pray this one, like honestly, that's probably his best path to victory. I don't see him winning a straight up stand and bang striking fight with you. But
Yeah,
I don't know, man. That's a very good point.
that's too juice for me. The
That's
under.
way too juiced. Yeah. All right, let's
That's
go
crazy.
on to the next one. The last fight here, the main event, the one that no one's gonna watch. It's like,
I can tell you right now. I'm in New York. I am not fucking staying up till 4 a.m. my time to watch Derek Lewis Circus Spivak. There's no fuck chance. There's
crazy.
no chance.
Well, you already kind of know what's gonna happen. It's striker versus grappler, and if you wake up in the morning saying Derek Lewis won, it's by a knockout. It's like he has
And
one
it's
path
not
to
even
victory.
like a good knockout. It's like it's like Blade where he just kind of miraculously catches it on the way in.
Yeah. So
There's a big age gap there. 37 to 28.
I actually think a friend of mine says sexual Mungie on Twitter he works for Underdog and they have a line right now, Sergey Spivak over 2 takedowns, which I kind of love, to be honest.
actually, yeah, that's not bad. Derek
love
Lewis
that.
has the fuck it, I'm just gonna get up, takedown defense.
Right. But that's
So
what I'm saying.
I-
Like Spivak will get him to the ground at least once. Like judo throws, those trips. Like Spivak is very good chain grappling, chain wrestling, chaining attacks together, not just settling. If his first fucking grappling attempt doesn't really go as planned, he changes it into different looks for the attacks. But yeah, man, Spivak is I think Spivak probably wins position. That would be my pick. That would be my guess here. But I really, really like that over takedowns line.
See if they have it on this.
Did you say decision here? You like decision?
No, submission. I think Spivak
Submission.
probably is able to submit him. Whether it's a
Yeah.
Kimura or let's get up the neck and a scramble. Like I just think Spivak's top control and top pressure and grappling are just going to be kind of too good. And I also think Derek, everyone's talking about he's skinny now and like he looked better, whatever. Like I don't think he really gives a fuck, man.
Yeah, but
he's never
he
gonna
had to.
fight the title again.
Yeah, he had to lose that weight though for health issues. That was not like his choice. He's unhealthy. He got pulled from the last cards, and the doctor told him that he wasn't fit to fight. So he looks that way for a reason. It's not his choice to look like that.
That makes sense. Yeah. Right. I'm sure he didn't wake up one day at 38 years old and was like, you know what? I'm going to take my nutrition seriously. After my 20-year career in MMA, where I just kind of showed up and done my own fucking thing and said my balls were hot.
Yeah, apparently his doctor wasn't letting him fight till he got some stuff fixed. So he had to change his
I just
diet.
was like a non-COVID illness. I think that was all I had seen on it.
Man, a lot of these. So he lost it. I remember too. This fight here.
That was a bad one.
Okay, yeah, that was a fun fight.
He
I didn't watch
Dawkins.
this one.
That was Officer Down, Christopher Dawkins.
God damn it, Dawkins.
Oh god.
But,
Yeah, that's funny.
It feels like they've reached the point with Lewis where they're just like, all right, we're officially just using you to build up other guys. They used him to build High. They used him to build Pavlovich. They used him to build Spivak. He's now just like, that's where we're at with him. Derek Lewis is there to prop up heavyweights the promotion is high on.
He lost to Aspinall, but Aspinall's pretty good, in my opinion.
I lost.
Yeah, Aspinall's solid actually. But yeah, honestly, in this fight, I like Spivak. I just think he has Lewis's number everywhere. But I'm leaning more the TKO than the submission. Ground and pound, baby. Derek Lewis doesn't have a neck
little club and
to
stuff.
grab.
Not club stuff, but I do like that.
Let's look at this here. So we got Spivak wins inside the distance at minus 170.
Hey, that parlay with Tyra inside the distance.
Might be a good bet.
Nice little finish parlay. That'll probably get close to plus 200, right?
Yeah, that should be definitely plus 200. Maybe like
200.
Yeah, probably around there.
Yeah.
Wins by decision plus 4. Or sorry, plus 600 by TKO, plus 135.
Damn. Sweaty.
Yeah. What do you guys think?
That's-
Should we focus in on a specific type of finish or just take the inside the distance at minus 170?
It's a tough one.
Inside
It's
the
a really
distance,
tough one.
minus 170
Oh,
is.
yeah, we can add parlays. There you go.
Ah.
There we go. So
I
we
think-
can
I
probably
think
look at
s-
that Tyra.
Yeah, I think that parlayed with Tyra inside the distance. I like that play a lot.
Is that your best bet, Harry?
It might be. I'm gonna think of it.
Really?
What-
Mine's gonna be an underdog, and it's like not really
Ooh.
popular. It's on the Bellator card.
Okay, I like
what fight
that.
is it?
Jalen Bates, man, you have to go at Jalen Bates. He is literally training to take down, grapple, top control. His submission game is sick. And the guy that he's fighting, I can't remember his name, Jornell, I believe.
Lugo, yeah.
Lugo. Okay, I know Danny Sabateo is like way up there as far as skill wise, and there's a big discrepancy in skill, but
Dude,
he got dominated. What's that? But
I hate
okay,
that dog.
I'm talking about competition wise though.
I
like,
know what you mean.
That's just a huge
I
gap.
hate that guy.
He lost that fight. I don't see why he should be this big of a favorite. I like Jalen Bates. I think
I'm with
that's
you.
going to be my best bet. You know,
Bates,
and
Bates
when
is
you
a body
ask,
shop guy, right?
yeah, and my thing is whenever you look at these fighters and these styles and you price them, I'm gonna price Bates closer to plus 150. You're giving me $100 of value on the plus 250. You have to take that when your perception is that there's value on a certain fighter. So for those reasons, I'm fading Lugo.
Fading Lugo. So I wrote that down too. Do you have anything, Harry, as far as best bets between these two cards here that we haven't talked about?
Yeah. I mean, honestly, like we just said, I really like that inside distance parlay, Spivak and Tyra.
Tyra?
The other play that I think I'm high on this week, is that I think I'm gonna be taking Lev in his Bellator debut. The problem with Asaya now, obviously, is 30. He hasn't fought,
man,
right? That's
Hey, Harry, I think you're breaking up a little bit. Which fight was it? Sorry.
So
It's
Ali
Asayev
Asayev
and,
Steve Mowry.
This one right here, right?
Yeah.
There you go.
Ali Asayev, 2019 PFL heavyweight champion, won himself that $1 million. He was post-fight in the PFL last season. He had problems getting a visa, getting into the States, so that didn't wind up happening. Obviously, again, like we said, it's the same thing with Duhu. It's tough to back up off of a 3-year layoff, and it's even tougher when he's 39 years old.
Yeah.
But the difference here is one of them has a plus side next to the name, one of them has a minus side next to the name.
Yeah.
So, I've never really been impressed with Steve Mowry personally. He's all right. Not bad. I don't think he's a bad fighter by any means. I think he'd probably hang around in the UFC, which is also just a testament to kind of how bad heavyweight is in general. But yeah, 4 canceled fights over the last 3 years for Asayev. Nothing else. Yes, he's 39 years old, but he only has 9 pro fights. It's not like with a ton of miles on him. He's not like a Fedor at 39 or a Ryan Bader at 39. He's like 36 or whatever the fuck it is. So
Yeah.
I think between experience, price, and all of that stuff notwithstanding, I think I'm gonna be on Ali Asayev here.
All right. And they have them at like they have them at like plus 115-ish.
Yeah,
All
exactly
right, so-
what I have. 15. And like
let's-
also like just a quick like Mowry hasn't fought anybody as good as Asayev. Like even really close. That's fight Ricky Cleveland, career G man, Sean Asher, Sean Teague, CFFC heavyweight champion, went up Bellator.
Yeah.
Like he's not the guy has fought anybody as good as Asayev, in my opinion.
It makes a lot of sense. I think one thing you mentioned too. I mean, he's only 9-0, even though he's 39. Like you said, he's 9-0. Not a lot of miles. Yeah.
Right.
We talked about that in the last show, right? What do we call a prospect? Are based on like their age or how long they've been fighting for, or how many minutes in the cage there.
No, and
That's
I personally cage time. I'm factoring in like miles and wear and tear into a fight when I'm handicapping.
Yeah.
Cage time is more important to me than age. Genuinely. Like a guy who is a guy who has 15 pro fights and is 30 years old, probably has more miles on than the guy who's 38-year-old 9 pro fights.
Yeah. All right. So with that said, let's get into placing these bets. Then this
Yes,
is where
sir.
we start to do it. So this is what I got here. So we got Ward plus 165. This is the Bellator card. So we got
I
Ward
didn't
at
put it.
plus 165 on the money line. What do you think, Pat? Do we add that on there?
I think if you're asking me where the value is, I think it is on Ward. But I'm just not overly confident. I would side with Ward though. I don't have an opposing view against Harry Mack in the spot.
All right, so we got the plus 165 on the money line. Do we stake the 100 to get plus 165? So let's just say 100 is our full unit.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah, that'd be
So
our
let's do
standard
that.
unit.
We do a full unit on that?
Yeah,
Let's do a full unit.
why not? Why not?
There you go. Bet submitted.
Hell
All right, so next we got Tokov plus 220 on the money line there. I don't have any I don't have
I
anything
think Pat and I
against
see
that
eye to
either.
eye on that one.
I'm not. I just think that the numbers are off. I'm more high
Yeah.
on Jalen Bates. Like I said, $100 difference in perception is huge. I think Tokov should still be the dog in this fight, but not that big. Plus 220 is just wide.
Right, like
Mhm.
I'd
it's
say
obviously
closer to plus 160. Plus 160.
right. Like, I get your
I'm
undefeated
betting it.
champion is gonna be favorite, especially coming off
Yeah.
a win over Musasi. Like I'm not gonna complain about that. I agree. It seems it's wide.
So at plus 220, we could probably take a half unit on that, right? Because we would
You
still
could
get
take. You could take a half unit on that and
I like
Bates.
that.
There you go.
There you go.
Take a couple stats. Why not?
Boom. Okay. And then we got Bates at plus 250. We'll do a half unit on that one as well. 255. Oh, we got some 260 here.
Damn,
Oh,
I'm mad, bro. I got 240. But I think it's just because like people don't really know who he is, but
Yeah.
bro,
Yeah,
he's
for
been
sure.
really active since 2020. Like he's putting in work. So
For sure.
All right. So let's
I
do the. We want the Tyra and Spivak ITD, right?
I like that. Yes, sir.
All right, let's do that.
Oh yeah,
So
well,
we'll do-
Max Rotoff on this Bellator card too. He's
Yeah.
people remember him as a kid who at like 19 years old retired on the stool in his UFC debut, and they cut him. I thought that was good
Yeah.
signing for Bellator, honestly.
I don't know if you remember him, RC, but he went Max wrote the guy Harry's talking about, he was on like ESPN, it was big news. He was the guy who his coach was trying to encourage him to fight and he quit on the stool himself.
Oh, I remember that.
Yeah,
but
he
he
did when he
is-
was like 19 years old. He was a kid.
He's really good though. Like he's solid. He's talented as hell. I don't know
Yeah.
about this fight for him, but I do think he's talented. I don't like to see, you know.
I agree. I didn't have a chance to really watch much of his opponent, so I don't
Yeah.
have strong feelings one way or another. But that's why you come to the show, because we're not going to pretend that we know shit. We don't. We're smart enough to know what we don't.
Right.
So we got Tyra inside the distance as well.
Damn, I have minus 175. That's fucking crazy.
Yeah, some of these lines blew up. Like
Is
I
that
took
what-
Jiyeon Kim.
Is that what it actually is right now?
So the Tyra by submission is minus 165. Do we want to just take Tyra inside the distance at 260?
I would rather take inside the distance, but let me see. Let me just check the price real quick. 'Cause I actually had minus 170. Minus 260. That's a bit tougher. That's another story, but
All right, how do we place the? Oh, there we go. All right, so we got. Oh, it comes to plus 120. Should we take the full unit on that?
I like that. I like that personally. I still am finding minus 165 on the distance and a couple.
Inside the
minus
distance?
170. Yeah.
Damn, they only gave us a couple options. That's the thing.
Yeah, it
think
must
it's
be.
weird.
I feel like a lot of these websites are weird like that with props. It's like they have one book, but you could have a new one.
So all right, so we'll go full unit on that one.
Word. And yeah, again, for all you guys at home, you are more likely than not going to get better value than plus 120 on that.
All right. So we got two other ones. We got oh no, we got three. We got Isaev money line.
Yep.
That one's on the Bellator.
Damn, you're confident, Isaev, huh? I was
Wouldn't
I
say
wanted
super
to, but
confident, but it's more so that I just don't rate Maori very highly, and I do rate Isaiah pretty highly. I do think Isaiah's
Really?
skilled. I think Maori is like big. He's just 6'5" or whatever the fuck he is.
I think it's gonna be low key an underrated like fight. Honestly, I think it'll be pretty fun and entertaining.
I agree, sure. I think it'll definitely deliver. I'm excited. I'm just excited to kind of see Isaiah back in there. Like,
Yeah,
he was one of the more intriguing guys in MMA to me the last few years. You know what I mean? Like, just one of those big what-ifs where, like, yeah, we didn't get to fight for 3 years because of like dumb visa bullshit and COVID and all this other stuff. So, like, how does he look? What, you know what I mean? What's he been doing for the last 3 years? I don't know.
Yeah.
yeah.
So what do you think, Pat? Are you in a disagreement here? Do we add it to the card?
No, I mean, I'm cool with it. I don't really I don't have a strong opinion on it. Isaev, I don't remember the last time they fought. I know he's a PFL. He won
Well, that
the
time
$1
he
million
fought was
thing.
the PFL World Championship. Yeah.
Yeah, so he ran
2019
through it already.
PFL
My
champion.
thing is when you get that $1 million, is your motivation still there? You know what I mean? Like we
That's fair.
saw Philippe Lenz. That's another example. Like he wins his mill and he
Right.
comes to the UFC and the dude's getting obliterated left and right.
Yeah.
I don't have a
Also
strong
8
take.
away from
I would
fucking-
lean
yeah.
Isaev. The dude is, he's built, he's stout, like so.
It's also just fun.
let's do this.
Better competition. Like I rate Denis
Yeah.
Goltsov much more highly than anybody that Steve Maori has fought.
Gotcha. You full unit on this one, or do we want to bring it down a little bit to like 0.75 or something like that?
What do you guys want to do? I'm fine to throw a unit at it, fine to throw 3/4, whatever everyone's comfortable with. Everyone's
0.75 because I have a little bit of a disagreement.
I like
There
it.
you go.
I like
There
it.
you
Fine
go.
with me.
There you go.
It's no fun if we all agree all the time.
Wait, was that 1 unit or 75 units?
Oh shit! No, I'm pretty sure that was 0.75. Let me go back. I'll fix it. I'll fix it later. Don't worry about it. I'll go back and fix it.
Fucking big baller. Fucking
All right.
whale.
It's $75.
lock.
$75 is 0.75 units, so we're good.
Okay, cool.
There you
cool.
go. There you go.
That makes sense.
All right, so next one is
10,000 unit lock.
Jian Kim
Imagine.
ITD, and then Jian Kim ITD. All right, so we'll go to that one.
Right. Is that or do we want to add the under? That was the one we were doing. There was interesting math there. Where like the price is basically the same for the under
Yeah.
and for Park inside
So
the
the
distance,
under.
or him inside the distance. Excuse me.
Oh shit, wrong one.
Yeah, I would side with Harry on that. I think that because Ronald, when I talked about this spot on your show earlier, the line was better,
It was
and
like
that line
4
is
something.
gone.
That's why. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So at this
makes
point,
sense.
I would say the under 2.5 is going to be a little bit more valuable. I would still lean it just because look at that, man, plus 300. Yeah, I mean, you have to throw a half unit on that.
Right. I agree.
Yeah.
Like don't throw anything fucking crazy. Don't go bet fucking rent, but
Yeah,
you're gonna give me almost 4-1. Like fuck it, why not, man? 4-1 on like
let's
a
go.
not very high level fight.
Do we want to go a half unit on this, or you want to do a full unit? How we feel?
I would just do half just because it's
Oh, that's
women's
like just
MMA.
sprinkle it.
You
Right.
know, women's MMA goes the distance more than 70% of
majority
the
of-
time.
yeah.
So
Yeah. For sure.
All right. Let's see how this looks.
and also we're gonna have better fights to talk about in the coming cards. This is not really the best card for UFC. It's kind of why we were discussing Bellator. But the UFC is lacking name value. So
There you go. I'm excited for this. I mean, we're
yeah, man,
adding
that's
to it.
cool.
Yeah.
Everyone can screenshot it, go look at it, and there you
We
go.
can come back. We can come
Yeah,
back and let you
we
guys know
post
how
that
it
shit.
went. So we got
cool, man.
the Tokov here plus 120. We did the half unit. Brennan Ward plus 165. We did a whole unit on that one. Isaev three-quarter unit on that plus 115. Bates, we did a half unit on the plus 260. Then we got the parlay, right? We got the parlay at plus 120 here. Spivak and Tyra inside the distance. And then the Kim Bomb under 2.5 plus 320. at half a unit there. So, yeah, man, I'm excited for the next show already to see how this ends up being, but also because we got a bomb ass fight coming up next too, Islam and Volkov,
Yes, sir.
Volkanovski. So Volkanovski, yeah, man, I'm about to bring my cards out for that show. Show
Hell
off my
yeah.
autos and my golds. You know what I'm saying? So
I think I
Alright.
got Islam rookie somewhere. Yes, I do. I have a Prism like Hyperite Islam rookie.
nice.
Yeah, I have
nice.
some Islam cards.
All right, man. I love it. I love the card that we come together with here. In the next show will be either Wednesday or Thursday. We'll talk about it between amongst Harry and I, and then also we'll talk about who we can bring onto the show as well. As far as
Sure.
I know Harry got some connections with some fighters out there. So yeah, I'm excited for where we're gonna go with the show. Hopefully we continue to get more viewers as we go on. With that said, man, can't wait for next week. Good luck with everybody's action this weekend with Bellator and UFC Fight Night. Till then, peace.
Later.